Good morning, all. I hope you are well. It is morning here where I am, and I'm recording this for our noonday service, our noonday prayer. And normally we have a particular liturgy that we use on our Wednesday noondays. It's adapted from our healing Eucharist that we usually do in person at Trinity. But since we're not able to gather, we've been doing it virtually via YouTube and inviting you, wherever you are in the world, to join us and whenever you are in the world. This is Easter week. This is the octave of Easter, the 8 days after Easter. And it seemed like we should change things up a little bit, do something a little bit different this week. And so we're going to try something a little different. We're going to pray a prayer. It's actually a morning prayer, but I think it applies to the morning of this Easter that we are now entering into, this season of Easter, the beginning of these days as we lead up to Pentecost. It's from J. Philip Newell. It's the Celtic benedictions, and it's a beautiful resource that I often turn to, especially in times of stress and anxiety, which we, of course, are all in the midst of. I'm out on our morning walk with our dog Journey, so she's here with us. My kids are all doing homework now, and Sarah's teaching, so they weren't able to join me for responses, but I think we'll muddle through it together. Then I'd like to also read a reading from Henri Nouwen's Out of Solitude. It's a beautiful book, and I think you'll find something nourishing in the midst of that. So I invite you to center yourself, to quiet your soul wherever you are, to receive these words. Be still and aware of God's presence within and all around. With the rising of the sun, life rises again within me, O God. In the dawning of the morning light, you lead me from the mist of the night into the clarity of the day. In the new light of this day, bring me to a clearer knowing of the mystery that first bore me from the dark. Bring me to a clearer knowing of the love from which all life is born. Hear these words from Scripture. Let me hear of your steadfast love in the morning, for in you I put my trust. Jesus said, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you." I invite you to gather together those things for which you are thankful and those things for which you are concerned. Hold them and offer them to God. First, for the first showings of the morning light and the emerging outline of the day, thanks be to you, O God. For earth's colors drawn forth by the sun, its brilliance piercing clouds of darkness and shimmering through leaves and flowing waters, thanks be to you. Show to me this day, amidst life's dark streaks of wrong and suffering, the light that endures in every person. Dispel the confusions that cling close to my soul, that I may see with eyes washed by your grace. That I may see myself and all people with eyes cleansed by the freshness of the new day's light. O sun beyond all suns, O soul within all souls, grant me the grace of the dawn's glory. Grant me the strength of the sun's rays, that I may be well in my own soul and part of the world's healing this day. That I may be well in my own soul and part of the world's healing this day. And I pray for you wherever and whenever you are, that you would be well within your own soul and part of the world's healing today, because the world desperately needs healing. And here's a selection from Henri Nouwen's Out of Solitude. It is not so difficult to see that in our particular world, we all have a strong desire to accomplish something. Some of us think in terms of great dramatic changes in the structure of our society, Others want at least to build a house, write a book, invent a machine, or win a trophy. And some of us seem to be content when we just do something worthwhile for someone. But practically all of us think about ourselves in terms of our contribution to life. And when we become old, much of our feelings of happiness or sadness depend on our evaluation of the part we played in giving shape to our world and its history. As Christians, we even feel a special call to do something good for someone, give advice, comfort, cast out a devil or two, maybe even preach the good news from place to place. But although the desire to be useful can be a sign of mental and spiritual health in our goal-oriented society, it can also become the source of paralyzing lack of self-esteem. More often than not, we not only desire to do meaningful things, but we often make the results of our work the criteria of our self-esteem. And then we not only have successes, we become our successes. When you are in the habit of giving speeches in this country, you find that the older you get, the longer your introducers speak, since they feel obligated to list all your accomplishments from your college days to present. When we start becoming too impressed by the results of our work, we slowly come to the erroneous conviction that life is one large scoreboard where someone is listing the points to measure our worth. And before we are fully aware of it, we have sold our soul to the many grade givers. That means we are not only in the world, but also of the world. Then we become what the world makes us. We are intelligent because someone gives us a high grade. We are helpful because someone says thanks. We are likable because someone likes us. And we are important because someone considers us indispensable. In short, we are worthwhile because we have successes. I think that's a good word for us to meditate on. I know that for me, I've gotten lots of messages through social media and other places about all the things that we should be accomplishing during this time of sheltering in place. And while accomplishing things is certainly laudable and wonderful and maybe even useful, maybe even necessary, it's not who you are. It's not the core of your being. So I invite you in this moment, I hope that you can find a moment of stillness. And in it, know that you are worth something immeasurable to God. That you are loved deeply by God, not because of what you've accomplished or done, but because of who you are and who God continues to make you to be. So blessings to you wherever you find yourself in the world. Stay well, stay healthy, stay inside, or at least near home. And I look forward to seeing you and hearing from you again. Blessings.